All right, subscribers, we're getting to do a lab here. We're going to be talking about Le Chatelier's principle, and that is dealing with the equilibrium concept. So we're going to get started here. I'm going to jump right into the directions and start performing some of the lab experiments. What we're going to do here, we're going to see a series of equilibrium reactions, and what you're going to need to do is, as I do the experiment, record in the correct location on your report sheet. So for part 1A, it starts on page 3. The directions say, place about 1 milliliter of 0.1 molar copper to sulfate. So I'm going to grab a clean test tube. I grabbed the clean test tube, and I'm going to take our 0.1 molar copper to sulfate. That's this stuff here. And I'm going to put about a milliliter of this substance into our test tube. And all right, so I take and I put this into, this is about a milliliter, and I want you to record this color. Now, it may help here if I put it up against something with a white background, so that way you can identify the color. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it's very light blue. Now, you need to record this color of light blue into the category where it says on report sheet number 1. Now what we're going to do here is this. We are going to get very concentrated ammonia. This is from ammonia hydroxide, and we're going to place it into the test tube. So we have the blue liquid, and we're going to add this dropwise. We're going to add this dropwise until the directions, until it says it records, or we have a new recording. So we have, again, what we have is ammonium hydroxide. Just going to add this drop by drop. And all right, so check that out now. All right, so ammonium hydroxide. We added this until a color change occurs. And you can clearly see that just by adding this ammonium hydroxide that we had a color change. Now I want you to record this new color under report sheet number 2. Okay, now we're going to mix the solution, and all you need to do is just kind of tap this test tube here. And so we've mixed up the ammonium and we've mixed up the copper to sulfate. All right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to grab 1 molar hydrochloric acid, and we're going to add it drop by drop until we see a change. So I'm going to load up my pipette with hydrochloric acid. That's 1 molar hydrochloric acid. And I'm going to add it drop by drop until I see a change. Okay, so might not be able to see it on the video, but I am starting to see some change, but not significant enough to what I'd like to have. So I'm going to keep adding drop by drop. All right, check that out. I'm going to mix this up real quick and check that out. All right, now what I've done here is this. I'm going to add just a few more drops of HCl. Okay, now you might not be able to see this, but this right here, I'm going to get as close as I can. This right here still has a little color. It's a light blue color. So I want you to record that under number 3. Again, there's a little color, very little. You can kind of see the blue hue out towards the end here, but that is after we added our hydrochloric acid. So what I want you to do is this. I want you to record this new color, the third color, under number 3 of the report sheet. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to place this test tube in our waste container, and I'm going to obtain a new clean test tube. All right, so I have a new clean test tube, doesn't have anything in it right now. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the same exact procedure, except instead of starting with copper to sulfate, what I'm going to start with is I am going to start with nickel to chloride. So nickel to chloride, same concentration, 0.1 molar, in case you're wondering. And I'm going to add a milliliter of our nickel to chloride. Okay, so nickel 2 chloride's going in the test tube, and I added about a milliliter of nickel 2 chloride. Okay, so to help you out here, the nickel 2 chloride, let me get a white piece of paper here to see if you can't see that. But the nickel 2 chloride, I realize it's probably looks clear. It has a very, very light green tint to it. So again, let's see if we can't get that. Oh, there we go. Okay, so there's a good picture. It's very light green. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to add drop by drop this ammonium. Okay, so on this ammonium, we're going to add drop by drop until we notice a change. All right, so let me mix it up. All right, so now we definitely notice a change. Let me add just a little bit more ammonium. Okay, so again, we get this darker color, and it's really, let me see if I can get a white backdrop here. It's really this purple color. So hopefully you can see this. It's like a dark purple, light blue color that we see here. So we definitely have a color change. And I want you to record that. I want you to record that there under number 4. Okay? Or I'm sorry, number 5. This would be number 5. Number 4 should have been the green color. This is that purple color. There's a good look at it. There's that purple color, what we have here. So this is number 5, the color that you see here. We get this nice purple color from adding ammonium to our nickel 2 chloride. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take this HCl, once again, the 1 molar HCl, and I'm going to add it drop by drop until I get something to happen. Add some more. And I'm going to add just a little bit more. Okay, so I had to add a little bit more HCl than what I thought. But with this right here, again, this is extremely light green. So we went back to this light green color. I know you probably can't see it from the video, but this is a light green color. Okay, let's see if we can't get any background now. It is very, very clear, but it does have a light green hue. All right, so I'm going to get another new test tube. Remember, number 6, it should be light green. So we went from a light green to a purple to a light green on that second part. For this next portion here, we're going to move down to page 4 if you're following the directions here. And I am going to place about a half of milliliter of 1 molar cobalt chloride here. So cobalt chloride here. I gotta get the correct cobalt chloride. I'll be right back. Okay, back. I got the correct cobalt chloride, a little bit more diluted, and that's what we want. So I said to add about 10 drops of this cobalt chloride. So, okay, so we have cobalt chloride here. It is this color. Now, what I want you to do, this is a pretty distinguishable color. It's this nice red-orange color that we have here with cobalt chloride. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take 12 molar. I'm going to take 12 molar HCl, and I am going to place it into the test tube until we get a distinct color change. So I'm going to grab my HCl, and we'll go from there. Okay, so my HCl, I am going to add it dropwise until we have a distinct color change. Again, the color change is not distinct yet. Just mixing the HCl up. Okay, let me try this again here. I need to get a more concentrated version of the acid. Okay, so let's try part 1B again. Again, I'm going to start out with the cobalt chloride, all right? So the cobalt chloride is this, all right? It's the red solution. again, I'm restarting part 1B over. I'm going to add about 10 drops of the cobalt chloride. Again, for number 8, you should have this nice red color. Now, I have my concentrated acid. This is 12 molar HCl. I grabbed the wrong acid, no big deal. But our concentrated hydrochloric acid here, I'm going to add it drop by drop until I see a distinct, that's what I'm looking for. I got it now. All right, got to use the concentrated acid. So under number 9, this is now our new color. It turned back to a dark blue purple color. On screen it looks almost blue. On in person here it looks light purple. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is this. I am going to now add some water, some distilled water into our test tube. We're going to slowly add it to our test tube here. Oh, cool. All right, so now just by adding water, we change this back to what we originally started with, this orange-red color. So this goes under number 10 in your report sheet. Okay, so we started this, we added concentrated acid, it went that blue-purple color, and then now we added water and we shifted our equilibrium back. Okay, so we're moving on to part 2. So part 2, what we are going to do, we are going to get about 10 drops of sodium carbonate into a clean test tube. Okay, so we're going to take some sodium carbonate. I'm going to get a brand new pipette here, and I'm going to add 10 drops of 0.1 molar sodium carbonate. Now what I'm going to do to this is I'm going to add 10 drops of silver nitrate. So don't record a color yet, because I'm going to add some silver nitrate. Okay, so I'm adding some silver nitrate. 10 drops there. All right, so now, what is our color? And it says in our report sheets, record your observation. So we started out with that clear, and now it's this milky white color, and that is a precipitate from our silver nitrate and sodium carbonate. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take some nitric acid, okay, 6 molar nitric acid, and we are going to add it drop by drop until we see a color change. Okay, so nitric acid. Again, I'm going to add it drop by drop by drop. Okay, now the white stuff that was on or in my test tube has now gone away. So we're back to that clear portion that we started with, okay? So we started clear, we added the silver nitrate, it went to that milky white or that precipitate. Now we went back clear, okay? And that's because we added the nitric acid. This needs to go into number 12. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to save this stuff here for our next steps in our problem here. So what we are going to do now for our next step, if you flip the page here to step number 6, is we are going to, in page number 6, make sure I got the directions right here, we are going to add 0.1 molar hydrochloric acid to our test tube until we observe a change, okay? So I'm going to grab my acid, and we'll go from there. Okay, so the same test tube, I haven't put it down yet. I'm going to add 0.1 molar hydrochloric acid. All right, notice what's happening. Check that out. We went back to that milky white substance that we had before, but we added hydrochloric acid. So I want you to record your observations, what happened here as we added the contents of hydrochloric acid to this particular test tube. Again, here is what happened. Here's the end results that you should be recording in number 13. So what we're going to do now, we're going to mix that up, make sure it's all good and mixed up. And we're going to add our ammonium via ammonium hydroxide, drop by drop, until we notice a change. Again, this is ammonium hydroxide. Check out what's happening. Let me mix it up. Aha, look at that. The solid that was there is now gone, and we're back to a clear solution. All right? So this part right here, this clear solution, should go under number 14. Now we're going to acidify the solution again by adding our nitric acid. Okay? So we're going to add our nitric acid drop by drop until we notice a change. We get some more nitric acid here. This is starting to come about here. Let me make sure you can see it. Okay, so check this out. So now we've added the nitric acid. We're back to that cloudy solution. We have those precipitates in here. And one more time, this right here, what you see here should go under number 15. Now, for 16 here, I'm going to add our ammonium hydroxide, or our ammonium, until we observe a change. All right, so let me mix that up here. So again, adding ammonium hydroxide. Let me see if I can stir it up just a little bit. And we'll add a little bit more ammonium hydroxide. We'll stir it up, and check this out. By adding that ammonium hydroxide, it has now gone back to being clear, colorless solution. All right, so you need to record that under number 16. I'm going to put this away here, and we are going to add, I haven't put this away. So same test tube, we've added a lot. We are going to put potassium iodide until we see evidence of a chemical reaction. I'm going to unscrew the lid on my potassium iodide, and I'm going to add it to our solution here. So let me grab a pipette, and we will go through here. All right, so grabbing the pipette for potassium iodide, we are going to add it to our test tube until we see a reaction. Okay, so check out what's happening. This top portion is what you should be recording, right? It's turning back to that cloudy solution. So this was by adding potassium iodide to this particular solution. Again, it went back cloudy. That should be number 17 in your report sheet. Should look like what we have on the top portion, a cloudy solution that is a precipitate has occurred there. Okay, now I'm going to put that one away, and we are going to shift gears to what we can do with heat and equilibrium. Okay, so for this last set of test tubes, what we're going to do here, we're going to have a hot water bath, which I have the Bunsen burner with the appropriate water in it. And so I'm going to turn this on, and I'm going to get this boiling. I have a very limited amount of water, and that's because I want this to boil relatively quickly. So I'm going to light the Bunsen burner and get the water heated. Now, while I do this, what I'm going to do here, I have some fresh cobalt chloride, and I'm going to put about a dropper full, just about a milliliter of cobalt chloride into each of these. And when we get done here, I'm going to put one of these cobalt chloride test tubes. I'm going to put one of them in the hot water bath. I'm going to keep the other one out in the cool open air environment. So you can see right now they have this nice, really pretty red color. And so I'm going to put the other one into the hot water bath once we get it boiling. And we're going to compare these two colors, and hopefully you can see a difference. All right, so we're just about there. I'm starting to get some bubbles. We're starting to get close to boiling. And like I said, I'm going to put one of these test tubes that contain some fresh cobalt chloride solution into our hot water bath. All right, so that we are here. I'm going to put this test tube into the hot water bath, and we're going to give it a few minutes here to heat up, and then we're going to compare the two colors between the cool or room temperature cobalt chloride and the hot cobalt chloride. Like I said, we'll let it heat up for about a minute or so, and then we'll compare some differences in these colors. Okay, I'm going to give it 10 more seconds. It looks like we do have a color change, but I'm going to verify it before I show it to you. And then this will be the last part of the lab. Okay, color looks pretty good here. I will check it and compare. Oh yeah, all right. So check this out. The one in my left hand that I have without a test tube holder, that is the cool cobalt chloride. And check out the color difference with this heated cobalt chloride. You can definitely tell that there is a difference. This one has this red purple, whereas the cool cobalt chloride kind of has that red orange color. So again, note the color difference. The one right here, that is the cool cobalt chloride. The one that I have with the test tube holder, that is the heated. So you can definitely tell the color difference as we bring it up to the camera. All right, so remember, you should have had the color differences noted on your report sheet, and then you need to utilize Le Chatelier's principle to be able to explain why we had the color changes and the occurrences we did in our lab experiment. I hope you have enjoyed this lab, and like always, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe.